Hey, all, welcome back to the Fire and Water Cooking Podcast. I'm Darren, I'm your host. Today we're going to have two great guests on, Troy Smith from T. Roy Cooks YouTube channel, and Bob Healey of Grill Blazer, the inventor of the new, soon-to-be-released grill gun and sous vide gun. We'll be back in just a second with our guests.
Smoking, grilling, getting hot and hotter, sous vide and chilling from fire and water.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to the Fire and Water Cooking Podcast. My name's Darren. I'm the host of the Fire and Water Cooking Podcast and the Fire and Water Cooking YouTube channel, Facebook group, and all that. And today we got a couple special guests. First one, I want to introduce Troy Smith from T. Roy Cooks YouTube channel. He's been on YouTube for a number of years, has plenty of videos, has done a lot of barbecue and cooking videos, has been around for a long time. Welcome, Troy. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Thanks for having me, Darren. I appreciate it very much. It's always nice to get on other people's channels and help spread the word of some fine eating. My name's Troy Smith from T. Roy Cooks on YouTube. I originate from Austin, Texas. It's the barbecue capital of the world for all of y'all not in Austin. I just enjoy cooking in general. I not only do barbecue, I cook inside. I'll cook on a Santa Maria grill. I'll cook on a flip-flop grill. I cook on all kind of stuff, but I like to have fun. I like to teach people how to cook, and it's done very well for me so far.
Yeah, that's one thing. I've watched many of your videos, and one of the things that gets me is you're not just doing barbecue. You're not just doing one or two different kinds of cooking. You do all kinds of stuff, from I've seen you do air fryer to Instapot stuff to gumbos and Creole cooking, and it's just a big melting pot of stuff that you cook, which is amazing to me. Why did you start the YouTube channel?
My son was fixing to move out of the house for the first time and did not know how to cook, believe it or not. And man, there's a lot of young people that don't know how to cook these days. So to help him out, once he moved out, I decided to start making videos showing him how to cook some of the simple things that we cooked at home when he was growing up. And eventually I started getting some fans that enjoyed watching me and tried my recipes and liked them. So I just kind of kept it going, but mainly for my son, but also, that was back in 2012, June 2012. So it's been right at, 7 years now. And it's just really taken off. I just keep telling people I just enjoy what I'm doing. I love it very much. I love the teaching aspect of it, and I like interacting with my fans. But I got started because my son didn't know how to cook.
So, and that's been, you said 7 years you've been doing this now. And how many videos do you know? Have you counted how many videos you have in your channel now?
No, last time I looked, I had like 560 or 70, something like that.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I'm not a numbers guy. I don't watch the numbers at all.
Now, do you do a upload on a regular schedule, or I notice some guys do, some guys don't.
I try to upload. When I'm in my groove and I'm not traveling on the road and stuff and doing family stuff, I usually upload a chat video on Tuesday. Sometimes it's live, sometimes it's taped. And then on Thursdays, I do my cooking video. So usually 2 videos a week, especially during the summertime when it's barbecue season. I'm putting out 2 videos a week unless I'm traveling.
Now, I know, I think I heard you talk to somebody, or I saw somewhere that you had retired earlier this year, and that so now you kind of have more time to do some of this stuff, right?
I actually retired May of 2016. I'd been with a company for about 21 years, and they wanted me to continue my job. I needed to move to Denver, and my wife's from here in Austin. She grew up, raised here in Austin, and she's not leaving her job. So I just said, I'm not moving. So I just got my retirement from them and my wife said, "Why don't you just go live on YouTube? Not, just keep going on YouTube and let's see where that goes." And I was like, "I love you." So
That's kind
I basically just retired in 2016, May of 2016.
And tell you the truth, that's kind of what I'm looking to do. Is kind of I'm doing this to set myself up for a few years down the road. That when I'm ready to retire, that I can do something part time, so I don't go crazy, and have a nice little, not a huge. I'm not trying to get rich, just have a nice little income doing something I love to do, which sounds like that's what you're doing right now. So.
Yeah, it is. The money that I make on YouTube just goes straight back into the channel, helping me buy equipment, buy lighting, audio, video, computers, editing software, that kind of thing. It goes and the internet. You got to have internet to upload videos. It goes into all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's one of the things I found when I've only been doing this since around this time last year is when I first started just kind of piddling around playing with it. And, I kind of started, I'm still shooting videos on my iPhone, and I'm starting now to start investing, in a little bit more. I taught myself how to edit using, when I first started, I was just using iMovie and stuff like that. Now I'm using the Adobe, program. So I'm teaching myself slowly and upgrading my equipment. So I'm sure over the years it's been a learning process, and I'm sure you're still learning stuff. So what's your favorite food to cook and do videos on?
I'd say probably, it's a toss up between Cajun stuff because I grew up around Baton Rouge. I love the Cajun food. I wish we had more seasonings and stuff out here in Austin where I can get some Cajun food. But I love cooking Cajun food and barbecue. I mainly enjoy cooking pork ribs. That's one of my favorites. I know brisket's big here in Texas, but I love me some pork ribs.
Yeah, I was going to say that's kind of a Carolina type barbecue thing is ribs, or Tennessee or what have you, Kansas City. But I'm a fan of all kinds of barbecue. So I love Texas barbecue. It's different than Kansas City barbecue, and Eastern Carolina barbecue is different. I just like it all. So, I mean, they all have it's just like, different areas of the country have different regional type foods. Barbecue's the same way, and I love it all. So.
Yeah, well, my grandmother, I did a video fairly recently on her doing a tomato gravy. I went to visit her. She's 93 years old. She's originally from Wilson, North Carolina. That's where she grew up and went to school. And maybe I have a little bit of that North Carolina barbecue in me.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
No, ain't nothing wrong with it at all.
So besides just the YouTube channel, do you do anything else? Do you have a Facebook page, or do you do Instagram? What else do you do to promote yourself and what you do on YouTube?
I try not to do a whole lot of social media stuff. I do have a Facebook channel, and that's mainly where fans can send me a direct message if they have a question or something. My Facebook page is called Troy Cooks Good Food. Simple as that.
Okay.
And it's a place where my fans can go. They can send me pictures of stuff that they've cooked, and I can definitely answer their questions. I spend a lot of time answering their questions, which is fine. I mean, there are a lot of people out there that don't know how to cook, and like I said before, I enjoy teaching people. So
yeah,
it's cool. I do have Twitter. I do have Instagram. Usually, I don't use Twitter unless I'm just going to post that I've got a new video up, and I think it's T Roy Cooks with a T_ROY_Cooks, I believe is what it is. But Instagram. Man, Instagram's changed since they started doing that story thing, and I hadn't delved enough into it to figure out how to use it. So I do have an Instagram, T Roy Cooks, I believe. I don't mess with it very much.
That's one of the things when I was talking to Greg last week about some of this stuff. It's really hard. I found pulling people from one social media platform to another, like pulling them from Facebook over to YouTube or YouTube to Facebook. So, it's kind of weird the way the different social media platforms work and the people that are on them. So that.
Yeah, I do have a web page as well, a website, I think it's called TroyCooks.com. But the only thing really on there that's useful is my email address where people can get in contact with me.
Right.
You can get that by going to the About section on my YouTube channel as well. So, I don't have a lot of time to spend on my website. I would love to put more time into it, but I just don't. So if anybody is a webmaster and knows how to set up web pages and, keep them up to date, holler at me.
Yeah. All right. So I've watched lots of your videos, and I noticed that you do have a number of different cookers out that you use, and that you, especially out on, your grills. I know you do an Instapot every once in a while, air fryer, but I'm talking about the grills that you got on your back patio. Can you tell me the ones that you have and ones that you've had over the years and ones you like the best?
Yeah, I love cooking with real wood. So I'd say cooking on my offset cookers is my favorite. Not when I first started, but several years when I can afford to get a real offset, I got the Yoder Wichita, and I gave it to my son, but I hadn't figured out a way to get it out to him. I don't have a trailer to haul it on, and shipping would be extremely outrageous. So it's actually still sitting in my garage. I can pull it out any time and start cooking on it. But in the meantime, since I was giving him that one, I got me another one from Lone Star Grills here in Texas, and it's a 20-inch. It's the 20-inch on the Lone Star Grills is not a pipe smoker. It looks more like a pellet smoker, to be honest with you. But the way that it's designed, it produces some really, really nice barbecue, and I'm still seasoning it and still getting used to it. But I just love cooking over real wood. And that goes for, I've got the Weber kettle. I cook on that thing practically 3 or 4 times a week. I got the Performer, so it's got the little table on the side. And I've also got an attachment for that, which is a Santa Maria grill from Gabby's Grill out in California. I tell you what, man, I'm really enjoying that Santa Maria grill. I need to get me one. I found out that Lone Star Grills has a Santa Maria grill as a unit, so I may get that one if I can, find the funds to do that. But I've got those. I've also got, man, so one of my fans told me if I haven't tried yet to get a flip-flop grill. So I got a flip-flop grill, which is basically one of these little aluminum grills that fall apart down to, they fold flat to nothing, like maybe 4 inches thick, if that. But you put charcoal in it, and it's got a grate on it that you can, it pinches the meat in between the 2 grill grates, and you can flip the grate over in the center. The axis, like you flip it from one side to the other without removing the grate. And that's fun to cook on as well. And taking it out hiking or on a fishing or whatever, that thing is fabulous.
The Santa Maria grill, that's an attachment. It's kind of like a you just kind of crank it up and down. It goes up and down over the fire.
Yeah. Exactly. It's the way it's made. It's made to fit your Weber kettle, and you put real wood in the kettle, and then you set this attachment where your grate would normally go, and it's got a nice heavy duty metal iron ring that has a lip on it, so it sits on top of your kettle. And then you've got a grill grate that's attached to wires like, well, I was going to say piano string, but it's actually thicker than that. But it's attached to metal wires that you also have a handle on that you can raise and lower the grill grate. So you can either cook really hot and fast, sear stuff, or you can cook low and slow over real wood. I mean, it's a lot different flavor than you get from just cooking straight over charcoal. I really am enjoying the Santa Maria grill, man. That thing is fantastic.
It looks neat. I've seen you use it a couple times, and I think Justin over at Baby Back Maniac also has one too, and I've seen him use it once or twice. So,
well, I went to visit him one time, and he's been wanting to try it out, so I left my old one with him, and he loved it. So I was like, well, look, just keep that one, and I'll get me a new one. So I did. I got me a new one, and the one that I've got now came with the attachments, the little brackets that I can put a rotisserie unit on it. So I can do some rotisserie cooking on my Santa Maria grill as well.
Cool. So,
but I've got my Weber Smoky Mountain that I've had pretty much since I first started on YouTube. I mean, maybe the first year I didn't have it, but I got it real soon. That was my first actual smoker. And that's the other thing too, man. When I came out here to Texas, I didn't know anything about real barbecue like they have here in Texas. But I quickly learned that barbecue is awesome. Back in Louisiana when I was growing up, man, we just had hot dogs, hamburgers, stuff like that on a charcoal grill. But out here, man, briskets, pork butt, I mean, all the regular pork ribs, all the regular stuff, beef ribs. And I was like, man, I need to get into this, learn how to cook it myself. So I started doing that. I bought me a Weber Smoky Mountain. And to this day, the Weber Smoky Mountain is the best tasting, best for the money smoker that you can get, in my opinion. It is really close to the flavor that you get from an offset burning real wood.
All right. So you guys, I saw a bunch of your videos, yours and Harry Sue's and Justin and all that were out there to the HPB Expo in Dallas. Have you ever been to one of those before? And how was that?
I've never been to that conference before. In fact, that's the first cooking conference I've been to. I've been to a lot for work. But I really enjoyed it because they had, like inside the arena or whatever you want to call it, where they've got different floors you can go to and see the different setups of companies with their own booths and stuff. I got to see David from Adrenaline Barbecue and his new Kamado with the slow and sear setup. I mean, that was really, really cool. There was a lot of people there. In fact, Harry Sue, I mentioned all the stuff, the stuff that was inside was really cool. That's kind of tame compared to going outside. You cross the street, and then there's like a football field of tents set up with cookers, teams, different companies. They're cooking stuff. They're dishing out free food. That was what I really loved, was going outside and tasting all the different food that was cooked on all these different grills and smokers. And Harry Sue was actually out there cooking on the Blaze grill, I believe. That was cool. Charcoal companies like Fogo was out there. They had all kind of cool stuff out there. I would definitely go to one of those once again. I made some nice networking contacts and stuff, and people that I met there are still texting me and talking to me and trying to get me to do stuff with their company. And I mean, it's really, really cool. And we also got to meet some YouTubers that are fans of ours. They're not YouTubers. They're just actually fans of our YouTube channel. But it was cool to meet some of them. You never know who you're going to meet when you get out there, But it was a good time.
Well, and I think next year it's going to be in New Orleans, so I think I'm going to head out there. So if you go next year, we probably should all hook up. So and it looked like you guys had a good hangout between you and Greg and Chris from Get Out and Grill, and Justin, Baby Back Maniac, and a lot of other YouTubers with Harry and all that, hanging out at Justin's house.
Yeah, the conference was, I think, 3 days, and we went 2 of the days. And then the third day, we decided just to hang out at Justin's, and we each cooked something. And it was really cool because we asked each other what we wanted the other one to cook, Mm-hmm. Like I said, what do y'all want me to cook, guys? And the majority was like, cook some etouffee. And I was like, okay, I can do that. And then the rest of us were like, Greg was asking, what do you want me to cook? And I said, and Justin said, man, do that peanut butter burger, that kind of thing. So we all kind of did what the others requested, and then we all went out shopping together, which was cool. And then we came back to Justin's, and we cooked up a storm, man. We had a great time, and then it was really funny because Harry Sue came in kind of late. His plane didn't land or whatever. He was actually at the expo, so he came in kind of late and wasn't sure what was going on, so he didn't prepare. But he took a little bit of all of our stuff and then made a dish with it, which was phenomenal. That dude can cook just off the cuff. It was really, really crazy. It was good.
Yeah, I think I saw in Justin's video that he posted about it, and then Harry posted about it too. So that's another thing, is watching everybody's different videos of the same event. You get different perspectives, and
yeah, yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
One of the things that I really like about you guys, especially that group there, everybody loves to help everybody else, especially new YouTubers. you've reached out and helped me a few times. Greg has, Harry has. I mean, Justin. You're all a bunch of guys that are willing to help other YouTubers. It's not like competitive or I don't want you knowing what I'm going to do because I'm going to do something and I don't want you doing the same. It's very open and helpful.
Yeah, we that's why I hang around with the guys that I do.
Yeah,
it's and the gals too. That we're very comfortable with who we are. We enjoy what we do, and we're not competitive in that sense. We do enjoy learning from each other, sharing knowledge with each other, and then sharing it with our fans.
Great. All right. Well, is there anything else you want to talk about or promote before we go to a break here?
No, I think I'm good. I'm real good.
Well, I'm not letting you go just yet. I just want to take a break for a minute, and then we'll come back, and then we're going to bring on Healey, Bob Healey from the Grill Gun. I noticed that you had one of your videos here last month or so. You had shown us this amazing grill lighting device. It kind of freaked me out, and I actually made contact with Bob too, so he's going to be on here. So we're going to take a little break, and we'll bring Bob on, and we'll both talk to him. So hold on for a minute, and then we'll bring Bob on. All right? Hey, all, it's Darren. I want to welcome a new sponsor to the podcast, Inkbird Products. Inkbird's been around since 2010. They make some good humidity controllers, temp controllers, thermometers. They just released a new line of barbecue thermometers. I actually have the IBT 4XS model, which is a Bluetooth 4-probe barbecue thermometer. It has up to 150-foot range on the Bluetooth. Has built-in times and temps for different meats. Works really great. Check them out, Inkbird Products. You can find them on my Amazon store on the link on my website. Also, you can check them out on Facebook, Inkbird Barbecue. You can join their group. They have discount codes, giveaways all the time. But welcome Inkbird Barbecue Products to the Fire and Water Podcast. Check them out, guys. Thanks. All right, guys. Well, welcome back. I still got Troy Smith from T. Roy Cooks, and I've got Bob Healey from the Grill Gun. He is the developer and inventor of a new, I guess it started out as a grill lighting device, but I think it's got multiple uses. I can see it where it could help sear using the sous vide, with sous vide. So, Bob Healey, introduce yourself and tell me about your grill gun that you invented.
Darren, thank you very much for bringing me on. Troy, it's really nice hearing you too again. Troy did me a real big favor
Great to hear you too, Bob.
Promoting the grill gun on his channel, and I've had a lot of good response from it. A lot of people are interested in it. The company name is Grill Blazer. I'm Bob Healey. I'm the founder of Grill Blazer, and I came out with this torch that I use to light charcoal. I actually light a charcoal grill, and I've been lighting a charcoal grill like most people that use weed torches or pear burners or such like that to light a grill. I've been doing that for a couple of decades, and I finally decided, if anybody was ever going to come up with a real cool tool, I was an engineer. I was going to have to do it myself. So I sat down and started trying to figure out what a torch that lights a charcoal grill would look like, and asked friends and my sons-in-law and sons, and pretty much came up with what you see if you go to grillblazer.com now. It's about a 22-inch long propane torch that is portable, in that you can screw a 1-pound Coleman or Benzomatic propane bottle to it, or you can hook it up to an 8-foot hose that you tie off to your 20-pound tank and kind of keep it stationary. Or you can tote the tank around if you want as well. But I made a whole list of things that it needed to do and designed it. And then I reached out to Troy and said, "Hey, would you be willing to talk about this?" And I did that because what I'm trying to do is fund the capital investment that it takes to manufacture something like this. And I opted back in the 1st of March to go the route of crowdfunding instead of venture capital or angel investors, because the people that see and like the grill gun are the ones who want it. And I thought, well, the best way to make this available to the masses is to get the masses involved with it. So it's been a 2-month ride here since about the 2nd or 3rd of March through now. Here we are, first part of May, and it's kind of exciting to see what's happened. And I'm anxious to actually have the Kickstarter campaign, which will actually start May 23rd.
So
Yeah.
Troy, you're the one of the first ones that actually got to play around with this thing. Bob's going to send me one so I can do a review on it on my YouTube channel as well. So what did you think about this thing? I watched your video and it looked like you had fun with it.
It was total fun. I mean, if you're into barbecue and you enjoy cooking, that thing, the grill gun, was amazing. It was awesome. I couldn't stop playing with it. And I love the fact that you can go remote with it, hooking up one of them little green bottles of propane to it, the camping kind of bottles. Or you can hook it up to a full 20, 30, 40-pound tank of propane. It's so unique. It works just the way it should. And also, Bob hadn't mentioned this yet, but you've got the trigger on it that you can actually go full throttle with it and get a serious flame going spot on, or you can adjust the flame. It's 2 separate intakes on it from the propane. So I love that fact about it as well. I enjoyed it. I hadn't had that much fun since I went flying in an old biplane from the 1930s, man. That was good times.
Well, and Bob, what was your inspiration for this?
Well, like I said, I was out cooking. I cook on my charcoal grill. I have an offset box on it too, and I've been doing barbecue and grill for a couple of decades, and I got turned on to doing it with a weed torch just because of the functionality of it. You can light a charcoal grill and bring the whole thing up to temperature. I'm telling you, when I walk out the door with the grill gun with my plate of meat and I get ready to cook it, I just walk out to the grill and put charcoal in it and light it and put my meat on, and total elapsed time tops 3 minutes. That's if I'm having to dump the old ashes out of the grill or something like that. And I just have, I don't begrudge anybody the drinking beer and sitting back and spending 30, 40 minutes to get your grill hot and enjoying the sunshine and having a good time charcoal grilling. But if you are interested in doing it like I do once or twice a week, and you don't want to make a hobby out of it every single time you use it, I prefer to actually be cooking on a charcoal grill faster than you can cook on a gas grill. It takes 10 minutes to get a gas grill up and working right. And literally when I'm cooking in 3 minutes with this thing, I can't think of anything nicer. I get all the benefits of wood or charcoal grilling, and I get the speed and the convenience of actually better than gas grilling. So I was messing around with these other weed torches. I bought half a dozen of them over time. And, friends and family, they'd come over and they'd take a look at it and they'd think that's kind of cool, but that's kind of odd. You're standing there with this 3 foot or 3.5 foot torch kind of off on an angle and you're sort of spraying it at your grill. And I said, why don't you do this? And they just don't want to mess with that. And so I sat down and said, okay, I could design something that would actually attract people to doing it and make charcoal grilling a real thing instead of what it is. It takes a second place behind gas grilling. You can't argue with the fact that 60% of the grills sold in this country are gas grills, and it's unarguably because it's faster. I mean, you have no mess or any fuss with a gas grill. You just don't get the benefits of the charcoal and the wood. So it's all convenience, and they sacrifice, the fun of charcoal grilling and the taste of it. So with the grill gun, I make something that really is sort of universally exciting. It looks like a gun. It shoots fire. I mean, what's not to like about that?
Well, one of the things that when I first talked to you about it, I saw the potential for using it searing for sous vide, because just like you were using the weed burner to light your charcoal fire, people use those to sear for sous vide. Believe it or not, there's a thing called the Searsol that a lot of people use, but that doesn't really put out a hot flame. It actually just it disperses the flame evenly. So, it's not fast at all. It's actually my least way to try to sear anything is with that stupid Searsol thing. But people are latched on to the weed burner because it's that fast, hot flame that can sear it really quick and they're done. So that's what I saw potential with it, not just lighting the grill, but for using it for finishing up a sous vide cook with steaks or roasts and stuff like that. So we kind of talked about it, and you said you're looking at making some attachments for it for that.
You should bring it up, and I heard you and Troy talking about reaching out to Guga and the friendships that you've established there. And T-Roy, he ran this video, and the first day there were people coming at me and saying, Bob, you're missing the boat here. I mean, yeah, charcoal grilling is great, but you need to be pushing this in the direction of sous vide, just what you were saying. And so I just do charcoal grilling and barbecue, and I couldn't spell sous vide. What is sous vide? I mean, 4 weeks ago, after Troy launched that campaign, I was being introduced to sous vide, and so I'm an engineer, and I took this approach really with the development of the grill gun. I went and took a look at what sous vide is, and I learned about it, and I become an expert, just like everybody who watches YouTube videos is an expert in something. I looked into the sous vide and how my grill gun might actually be ideal for that. In this 4 weeks time frame, I took the grill gun and I modified it. Came out with another model called a sous vide gun, and it has a 6-inch shorter barrel. And I changed the flame on the barrel. I put a bell reducer on the barrel in order to focus that flame in, and it shoots now a ultra hot blue flame at a distance of about 12 inches, and it's a shorter gun. And I've gotten into doing sous vide in the last 3 weeks, and I love it. I mean, I've sous vide a number of different kinds of meats, and I've done it with a sous vide gun. Believe it or not, I'll use it right there on my kitchen counter. I'll turn the vent hood on in order to make sure that I get good ventilation. But I'll put the meat right on a baking stone right on top of my range top and sear that baby, and it is gorgeous, and it's so easy to do. You just imagine the grill gun that you've seen, about 6 inches shorter, with a flame that looks like a wedge, that you're just able to point right at the meat where you want it and cook it, and you don't get even your countertop or anything around it hot. So it's very exciting, and that's actually going to come out at the same time on the Kickstarter campaign with the grill gun.
What do you think of that, Troy? You want to play with the sous vide gun too?
Yeah, actually I do. I was wondering, I'm sitting here thinking, is there going to be like one gun and you can change the end of it to do what you want it to do, or is it going to be two separate guns?
Well, the way it's built with its ignition system, I can't interchangeably make the barrel shorter, but I can interchangeably focus the flame. So if you buy the longer gun, the grill gun, it's really designed with a flame that comes out a couple of feet, and it's meant to just, catch stuff on fire. And the sous vide gun has got a barrel reducer that fits in the bell. It's shorter, so you don't really want to use it necessarily. You can use it to light your grill, but you're closer to it by 6 inches, which means your hand's closer to the fire.
So the sous vide one is more finesse.
It is. It is a finesse.
More precise.
So, I mean, whereas my wife, she's, 5'7", and when she takes the grill gun, the whole notion of taking that almost 2 foot long torch and holding it up in the air and sous videing a piece of chicken or a piece of steak in the kitchen is kind of, yeah, right, I'm going to do that. I mean, it's a gun that is 2 feet long and throws a 2 foot flame, and that's ridiculous for her. But it's okay for me because I can go out and set it on the grill and use the grill gun and sous vide it just fine. Turn the flame down so it's not throwing out that beastly fire, and then sous vide it. But with a sous vide gun, it's actually so much shorter that even with her, I think this is going to be attractive to the women and the chefs in the kitchen, because literally you can stand there in your kitchen and take the grill gun or the sous vide gun and just pull it out of the holder, light it up, and it makes fire that's really focused, and you can just flame your meat and don't even have to go outside. You certainly can.
Yeah.
And
that was the whole thing with the Searsall. The attraction to that was you don't need to go outside. You can do it inside. But like I said, it's not powerful enough to me. I bought one, and they're $75, and all that is an attachment for a torch. You still got to buy the TS 800 to put on your propane, so you're spending $40 on that, $75 on the Searsall, and it's still not powerful enough to really sear anything that good. So this thing is going to be, similar, actually cheaper than what the Searsall. Yeah, and it's going to be a lot more an intense flame, and you can have something seared in like 5 seconds as opposed to 5 minutes.
Yeah, I just the other day I did some pork chops, some beef spare ribs, some pork ribs. I actually did a 4-pound chicken breast, and it's just amazing how you damp it off and you present that. The Searsall can't get anywhere close to it. You present that hot heat in a manner to the meat. It darkens it, crisps it up, and makes it just look like a showpiece off the grill. So I'm not trying to talk people out of charcoal grilling. I'm just saying I've kind of
it's a different use for it. I mean, it's there's people that in apartments or live in the city that don't have access to using a grill to finish a sous vide cook, that have to have something like that. And that's the attraction to that. I'd rather throw it on a grill or a griddle outside and myself, but every once in a while, just you don't have the time. You just want to take that thing out and sear it up real quick and serve it. So, I mean, it serves a.
Yeah, that's what Guga told me too. When I first met him right after Troy released his video, he said, Bob, you need to pay attention to the sous vide because you do have an audience of charcoal grillers, but it's nowhere near as big worldwide as people who are cooks that don't have access to charcoal grills outside that would use your grill gun. So anyway, it came to pass even since I last talked to Troy. This is news to him as well because it's been pretty fast paced. And when you're a startup company like I'm trying to be, where I'm controlling the manufacturing and the design, and I'm the engineer who does all of this, it's pretty simple to just spin something up new like this and launch them simultaneously. So when the Kickstart campaign happens here in a couple of weeks, a week from yesterday, 2 weeks from yesterday, you'll be able to choose. I'd just assume people buy both. Why not? You have a big long one for outside, and you keep it tethered to your grill if you're a griller, and then you have the shorter one that you use when you're trying to sear your meat. It works here. I mean, I just love it. The option now that sous vide's been actually introduced into my life has given me an opportunity to have grilled food, even if I don't have to grill it.
Right. Well, I look forward to it.
I've got. I know you're not quite there, but in the future, will you have a package deal where you can get both guns for a little bit cheaper, like a package?
Yeah. Well, on the Kickstart campaign, you got a lot of flexibility because you're trying to entice people to try and
Right, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Later down the line, once you get everything rolling.
Well, actually, I'm going to offer them as a pair for a reduced price if you buy two of them. So you could buy, as a choice, a grill gun and a sous vide gun. You really, the notion of the 8-foot hose for the sous vide gun is not really as practical as it is for the grill gun. So I don't see people wanting to buy the sous vide gun with the 8-foot hose the way that they do with the grill gun. And so, although on the Kickstart campaign, you'll be able to buy the grill gun without the 8-foot hose because you don't have any need for it as well, if that's your choice. But if you buy the grill gun, the sous vide gun, and the hose and the stand, you're all set. It's quite a bit more expensive than just buying one gun, but it's not as expensive as buying two. So,
count me in, man. Count me in.
Oh, I know you're going to just love it. I will count you in because I think people, when they see this, I'm changing the website over to introduce this week. And then when people hit the Kickstart campaign on Thursday, the 23rd, I've done some other videos that actually demonstrate I'm using the sous vide gun to actually sear meat. And, I think it's going to really impress a lot of people. I would not be surprised if I don't actually have people want the sous vide gun more than the grill gun, just because of the number of people who would be interested in doing sous vide versus charcoal grilling. Now, I can say at the same time, I was down in Burnet, Texas, just up north and west of Austin at the Texas Barbecue High School Championship in Burnet, Texas, where all the high schools in Texas, they grill year round. They go to final or quarter regional finals, and then the top teams go and they do barbecue. It's the most fun. It's 2 days of huge fun with high school kids and their parents and stuff. And it was unanimous. Everybody just wanted the grill gun, and they were just all over that. And I mentioned sous vide to almost everybody because I had the sous vide gun there with me. And I had to explain what sous vide is to almost everyone. So just because it's cool and a lot of people know about it doesn't mean everybody does. And so it'll be interesting to see how it shakes out.
I'm about 30, 40 minutes from Burnet, just so you know. Yeah, I didn't get a call. It's okay.
Yeah. I wish I had known that. I'd driven over there. Are you towards Austin?
I'm in Austin. I mean, seriously, I'm 30, 40 minutes from Burnet. It's oatmeal capital a little bit.
They want me to come back next year. I'll sponsor the event and give away some grill guns, and it's fun. It's a growing phenomenon in Texas.
Yeah, let me know next time you're in the area.
Okay. Yeah.
But you're right. I mean, sous vide is still, even though it's becoming more popular, it's kind of like, I started doing this I was telling Troy earlier, about a year ago when I started mixing sous vide and barbecue, and it's still, people are still learning what sous vide is, even though it's a lot more popular than it was 4 or 5 years ago. 4 or 5 years ago, the sous vide circulators were, $400 or $500. Now they're down to, you can get one for $50. The better ones are still around 100 or 150, but anybody can do it now. So it's like, when plasma TVs first came out, they were $5,000 or $6,000. Now they're a couple $100, but it's going to get more popular. And once people can figure out they can use sous vide and barbecue together, I mean, you'll have more people latching onto it. So there's definitely, you got two growing markets there that you kind of latched onto with this product. And I think it's great. Where can people find out more about it?
Well, grillblazer.com for the next 2 weeks is, always grillblazer.com. That's all one word, grillblazer.com. If you can't remember Grillblazer, just remember grillgun.com. It'll take you there too. But that site will be the repository for all the knowledge that you'd want about everything that I'm doing. And when the Kickstart campaign launches here in a couple of weeks, then what'll happen is you'll go to grillblazer.com, and when you currently, if you click on the Get Yours Now button at the website, it'll take you to a sign up page where you can go. You did it. You can go and say, "Hey, I want one. I'll support your Kickstarter campaign whenever you get it going." And I did that simply because in March I didn't know how long it was going to take. If you're going to run a successful Kickstarter campaign, you really have to know where your support's coming from in advance. You don't just throw it out there and hope people will get there. And so this last 2 months has been an effort to actually get some momentum. And like a snowball, started rolling down the hill so it gathers snow and becomes bigger. And so that button that takes you to the sign up page will take you directly to the Kickstarter campaign. And that'll run for, I'm pretty sure I'm going to run it for 60 days just because I can. And it will allow me to capture a lot more people who want it. Because after that, I'll be in the process of manufacturing them. Not after that. I'll start manufacturing them immediately. Start the process of manufacturing them. And you're still looking at not the first grill guns available, or sous vide guns available around Thanksgiving, before in time for Christmas. And as if the momentum gets going and I have an awful lot of back order situation, that's what it's going to be. It's just going to be back orders. And so you'll go there as soon as the Kickstart campaign is over with. Then I'll be taking it to my Shopify site, and I'll just be taking orders and actually selling them and taking them in a back order position, and then fulfilling them as I have them available. But I've set up to manufacture it in very high volume because I anticipate that it is going to be a high volume product. Yeah. So it takes a while to make sure that it's right and I'm not sending out garbage. And I absolutely refuse to alienate people by putting out a piece of trash.
Well, that's good to know. And where are they going to be manufactured?
They're going to be done overseas.
Okay.
So they'll be coming in. They'll be coming in container loads. And
that's not a bad thing. I mean, you can get some really good stuff from overseas. So it's a mixed bag. You just, as long as you have good quality control and you make sure that you get it done right the first time. I mean, I have no problem.
Yeah. Where people make mistakes going to other countries to have them made is they look at the dollars and they say strictly, we'll do it for dollars. Now, and then they leave them to their own devices, and that's a mistake.
Right.
If you don't control it, if you don't control the design and the quality and maintain that, you'll get that problem whether you have it built in Buffalo or built in San Jose or Oklahoma or wherever you're from.
Exactly.
It'll be garbage. So it'll just be high volume, whole lot of garbage, and you must not allow that to happen.
Well, that's good to know. And you guys, you heard it here first about the sous vide gun. So I wasn't even aware of that before we came on tonight. I mean, so last time I talked to you was a couple of weeks ago, and that was before you were talking about just making an attachment or something. So you heard it here first, guys. Sous vide gun, drill gun, Kickstarter starts on May 23rd. Well, great. Make sure you go to grillblazer.com and check out now you have some videos you said still on there?
Yeah, the videos of the sous vide gun are going to be going up next week. And so they'll be there about a half a week ahead of time. They'll be on the Kickstart campaign where you can see me doing sous vide with the grill gun.
Great.
And then watch for Guga's video because he's all about it. He just is like a kid in a candy store, kind of like you were, Troy. You just can't believe that something so awesome is available.
Yeah.
And it's nice to be in that position where you create something that people really just like it.
Right.
Everything about it, they just like it.
That excitement factor. That's right.
Well, I was going to say, what guy that barbecues doesn't like having a gun in his hand that shoots fire?
That's American.
That's America.
That's for sure.
Well, I want to thank you guys for coming on, Bob. Great news. I'm really glad that I had you on here so we can discuss the sous vide gun and everything and the grill gun. Troy, I want to thank you for coming on. It was great having you. I love your videos, and you've been an awful big help to me and many other people out there that, like you said, don't know how to cook. You're a really good teacher, and you're a really good helper for people who are starting YouTube and stuff. And make sure you guys check out T-Roy Cooks on YouTube. Make sure you check out grillblazer.com for the grill gun and the sous vide gun coming up. Thanks, Bob. Thanks, Troy. Troy, you got anything else to say?
Thank you, Darren. I appreciate the opportunity to let me meet your fans. And guys, cooking's fun. Hope you get out there and cook yourself some food, and you got plenty of leftovers because you're not eating out.
And Bob, you have any last words?
I appreciate the opportunity, Darren, and putting me on with T-Roy at the same time. Just, it's like icing on the cake. Thank you very much.
Well, I got the idea because I saw, your product on his video, so I figured it'd be a great, double team. I could kill two birds with one stone. But
yeah, Bob's got a great product, man. Y'all get out there and support his project. I'm sure the sous vide thing's gonna be wonderful too. Like, I can't wait to check that out, Bob.
Well, thanks again, guys. I appreciate it. Make sure you guys check out T-Roy Cook's YouTube channel, grillblazer.com, and make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Fire and Water Cooking, and make sure you subscribe to the podcast. Thanks again, guys, and I will talk to you later. Well, guys, that was a great episode. Thanks for joining us today on the Fire and Water Cooking Podcast. Join us next week. We're going to have Jason Logsden from Amazing Food Made Easy and the Exploring Sous Vide Facebook group. He's an author of many sous vide books. And also Mike LeCharrette. He is the co-founder of the International Sous Vide Association. They're going to be my guests next week, so make sure you join us. Thanks for following along with us. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, Fire and Water Cooking. See you guys next week.